Every time I go live, especially through Facebook, it's got to have a interruption 2 times before I get into the live stream. So I just wait like a good 10-15 seconds because it's ridiculous. But anyway, Coffee Talk, episode 3. Y'all see I'm using my little AI designs, Pharaoh Lux. Because why not, right? They some pretty good designs. So it is a good little creative exercise for myself. And I'm up this early because, and I'm so glad I got a 3-day weekend, but even then I got so many things jam-packed. Like, if I had a 3-day weekend and everything was taken care of, everything in my house was clean, everything was organized, I didn't have no schoolwork, no nothing, it would be like a real mental break. But oh well, such that is life. Anyway, I am trying to help Black women break themselves from the curses that have been put upon us. And I tell Black women in the various different ways, through colorful commentary, mind you, how these strongholds are continuing to be perpetuated, whether it's through conservative Christian values, whether it's through the elders sending us dysfunctional messages, whether it's through being manipulated by, the patriarchy, being groomed by misogynoir. It's just a lot of different pieces. There's a lot of different attacks from a lot of different angles. It ain't just one. So when I'm speaking on these things, I'm speaking on maybe one attack this time, one attack that time. Today's attack is the internal attack. Now, the low self-esteem that a lot of Black women carry, it was not made by them, but it was created by society. And I think that a lot of times when people don't hear words that are empowering, they immediately run for cover to try to either A, reshape the narrative, or B, say a more empowering word. And I think that that's a mistake. I think that you have to face the uncomfortable truths a lot of times. Now, I can't convince nobody that they got no damn low self-esteem. That's not really what I'm here for. I'm not here to convince people that I'm right. I pretty much know that I am, but I can't convince them that I'm right. I know that I'm right. Shit. I know I'm right. But I can't convince people to accept a label that they don't want to accept. But the reason why I think that's a mistake of not accepting the label is because you never really work through it. You never really find the resources, the tools, and the mental and emotional growth past these things when you constantly try to hide them from yourself. This is what becomes a part of your shadow. Okay? Now, I was having a conversation with Miss Tanisha Coleman, who I respect a lot of her work. But I want to say something about some of the messaging and why it might be incongruent and why it might be harmful not only to others but to self. But this is not to be patronizing. I use a lot of colorful language. I use a lot of examples. I talk a little bit of shit. Okay. The intention isn't to be patronizing on something that somebody might be a little less, it might be a little more triggering for the person. But unfortunately, these are conversations that I have had within myself. And I've talked about this before many different times on many different live streams, and people can attest to it over the years. I've talked about this in great detail. That's why I already have a fully fleshed out point of view on this topic. So let's get into it. Black women don't have the level of low self-esteem black men do, but they got some low self-esteem. We are constantly being taught that it is our job to carry and be alchemists when it comes to the destructive nature within our men. We are constantly being taught that it is our job to heal them, to help them grow, to help them see, to help them be responsible men. We give them children when they're not ready to be fathers. We make them husbands when they're not ready to have wives. We do all of these things and just pile responsibility on them and then help them work through it and sacrifice ourselves. And yes, we operate with a great deal of empathy. And I give all credence to that because I watched that my entire life. And it's a part of my villain origin story, okay? When you watch a woman constantly self-sacrifice for bare minimums, it do something to you. It's like the woman got to go to the edge of hell to get a few crumbs from a man, attention, a ring. Bitch, marrying you ain't gonna light up my life and change my world and turn it into a new, and I'm not gonna become a millionaire after I get your last name, bitch. That's just really, this is what I need. I'm saying it very plain because it's like, what the hell are you offering that's so magnificent by having your last name that now my entire world has been changed for the better? You're giving me something to take care of, which is you. You're giving me more children to take care of. You're giving me more responsibilities. You're giving me more people's feelings to manage. You're giving me more emotional labor. You're giving me more physical labor. I mean, really, honestly, it definitely benefits the man more. But hell, to be fair, I'll even accept that it's mutually beneficial. But to think that the man the woman is gaining something by marrying some of y'all is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Marriage is a function of capitalism. I'm going to veer off into a tangent and I'm going to come back. Marriage is a function of capitalism. I'm so sorry to the ignorant motherfuckers who don't understand history, nor do they understand economics. But marriage was never a function of a man bestowing his greatness upon you. Even biblically so, these men came with they weren't the greatest people in character. You know, they didn't have the best integrity. But at the very least, these men would come along and they would have some sort of fortuitous financial backing to help that woman to elevate herself. It wasn't all this peasant shit. Okay? So if we on the peasant realm, bitch, we benefiting each other. Shut up with all that dumb shit. But that was my tangent. But what I want to say mostly is I want to get down to the reason why identifying low self-esteem in yourself is a power move. You often would describe it as an unempowering move, but it's not, because once you acknowledge it and you go through the steps of the shadow work to get to the nitty gritty of the problem, most of the low self-esteem that we carry was put in us by external factors, whether it been through the church who told you weren't worthy as a woman. I mean, literally, the church just has such a fucking twisted point of view. 11-year-old girls was fast because grown men was lusting after her. Weird shit like that. We're talking about some weird shit where little girls were responsible for the depraved nature of grown men. This is the type of stuff we had to deal with underneath the surface when it came to the messaging that we got. And I think that was the most toxic aspect of it. But we all absorbed it. Women who knew their men was messing around with touching on the little girls in the family and touching on the little girls in the household and keeping quiet about it. These are some of the darker aspects of the patriarchy. And this is just for an example, but there's many more darker aspects of the patriarchy that goes unspoken of, that becomes a part of our societal fabric and becomes a part of how we operate, behave, and interact with one another, and how we understand our value and our worth. If you're a little girl and you being told that you're fast, you 12, 13 years old, you just starting to develop, you smiling and bubbly, and you're talking to men because you don't see them as the predators as these old bitches do. Okay, you know they predators. So she's smiling, she bubbly, she not up in the man face because she hot and fast and want to have sex with him. He might be thinking about sex, but she not. She just a little girl, yapping and talking and not seeing that she can be preyed upon. The messaging should have been, baby, you want to mind yourself around men, which is a whole nother bag of worms. But they would never be honest about that. They'd yell at you, cuss you, tell you being a fast, telling you being disrespectful when you wear short shorts around men. You don't know the men are looking at you. You ain't looking at yourself. You're not thinking about it in a sexual nature. They are. So they're the problem, not the goddamn girl. But I bring these things up because this is the type of mentality. I mean, how warped in your mind do you have to be as a woman to think that a prepubescent teenage girl has the same type of sexual depravity as a grown 30, 20-something year old man? It's just not possible. So you have to teach your daughters about the predators. Instead, you protect the predators and you tell your daughters they doing something wrong. This very premise is the premise from whence a lot of us came. It ain't the man's fault that he's destructive, depraved, or degenerate. It's your fault for triggering something in him to be destructive, depraved, and degenerate. How you doing, Sarah? This guy the other day told me that no man would want to marry me. I'm like, I'm not missing out. Girl, you ain't missing out on shit. I promise you. I promise you. Unless you actually are experiencing a life-changing event by marrying them, that, girl, they could keep that shit, okay? They really be throwing that in your face like they is depraved. Girl, I'm going to tell you later on in the stream about this ignorant, okay? This ignorant Negro who really think he just hurting my soul with the things that he be saying. I wished him well and I blocked him, but I'm going to tell you that story a little bit later. I want to kind of get into the meat of this topic for my ADHD viewers and the people that's going to be listening to this on the playback. So We're coming from that premise of it's the woman's fault for the destructive nature in men. It's the woman's fault for the destructive nature in men. If you're 12 years old and you are thinking like a child, but you're friendly with the men around you and the men around you are friendly, you don't think about them looking at your breast and your booty. You just know that they are giving you friendly energy, so you're responding in kind with friendly energy. But the elders around you are not teaching you to protect yourself, nor are they protecting these young girls. They're telling these young girls, oh, you are a fast. Okay? They're shunning you. They're shading you. And then they're leading you out to pasture when these men are inappropriate with you. Okay? If a man has a rage fit because he has low impulse control and he's mad about something, oh, it's your fault because you triggered him. That's a grown ass fucking man. His lack of ability to have a human response to being upset and triggered, how is that my problem? You're telling me that it's my problem that he a goddamn retard? That he don't have no impulse control? He don't have no self-control? I gotta shut up and I gotta repress everything while he's being cruel and unreasonable. This is the type of shit that a lot of these boomer women and some of these Xer women and even a small percentage of millennial women push out into the world. These are the things that shape and mold you, that make you believe that you are not worthy of a man unless there's some sort of ritual, prerequisite, time frame. You got to prove yourself to him. Because why wouldn't they be the prize? None of their behavior is under any kind of fucking examination. The crash outs, the depravity, the disrespect, the treating you like an object, and if you even try to talk about it, you a feminist. You a feminist. So as soon as you open your mouth, you are discredited. You are gaslit. You are denied humanity. Even though black women are resilient and we tap into something otherworldly to get things done, and we do some wonderful things. But if the messaging your entire life has been, hey, you got to do more than everybody else, you're just not good enough, this one is more worthy and more prettier than you, and literally during the 2020 time, they don't say it as much because Red Pill has pretty much been all but dismantled. Because I told you, goofies, it was an alt-right pipeline to getting Trump elected on some misogyny shit. And then once they got him elected, what did the white man do? What he always do? Throw your goofy nigga ass away. So boom, he threw you niggas away. And hey, I love that for you. Okay? You got what the fuck you deserved. We try to tell you, and the reason why I'm saying it how I'm saying it now, because see, in the now, you all sad-faced it and you looking all stupid. But back when you felt like you was gonna be on top and men ruled, oh, y'all was talking big shit. Y'all was talking big shit. Y'all was talking cash money bullshit too. Y'all had a lot to say. And it wasn't just the niggas on the internet. It was the niggas off the internet, all that. Y'all was talking cash money shit. Going up our hair, our nails, our self-expression, calling us masculine, all kinds of weird ass shit. Treating us like we wasn't nothing. Trivializing our pain. Telling us we need to be submissive while going 50-50. Just a bunch of weird shit. I'm not, since this coffee talk is not about that, I'm not going to go into it. But y'all know what the fuck y'all said. So if the white man used you, used your energy, used your vote to get a fucking white supremacist, dyslexic, depraved pervert in office to move forward white supremacy, then that's just fucking good for you niggas, okay? It's good for you. You thought he was going to create a blue collar utopia. Okay, bitch. When the white man ever really actually looked out for you? But you thought it was going to happen this time. Cool. That makes sense. That make a lot of sense. That make a lot. Let me move on. Because I could roast y'all all day on this one. I had a field day with that one. I laughed so hard. It was so fun. But anyway. So, moving right along. Low self-esteem is ingrained in the fabric of what it means to operate as a black woman in this society. We don't get a lot of chances. We don't get a lot of grace. We don't get a lot of understanding. We don't get a lot of grace and understanding from the men around us. The moment we're unable to fulfill one of their needs, they react with such vitriol. It is insane. It's preposterous. A disproportionate reaction. We supposed to plug all they holes, know what to do, know how to make them feel. And if we don't do it, we are punished severely. Okay? And when I say punished severely, they think we can't make the connections that a lot of their cheating is a punishment. Oh yeah, a lot of their cheating is a punishment. Well, she wasn't giving me no attention. She was putting all her attention in the kids. You don't say. Y'all got 2 4-year-old children, but you need some affection. You need some cheeks. And I get that you need that, but at the same time, maybe you should have thought about that before you had 2 small children with her. You know what I'm saying? 2 small children is a lot. Maybe you should sacrifice and think more about helping her than making her feel as if though you not giving me what I need. So you just worry about the kids then, since you feel like the kids is so important. Just a bunch of ridiculous ass shit. And then half the time, they don't even be your husband with these types of demands. But let me move on. Acknowledging low self-esteem, as I said before, I believe is a power. You are taught that you are unworthy. That is not on you. That is not your fault. But nobody's going to come and save you at the same time. Nobody's going to come and save you at the same time. So while we could sit around and say that all these people that conspired to keep the black woman in low self-esteem, they did that. And we can agree to that. But what's not going to happen is they're not going to then turn around and say, you know what? I was wrong for calling you fast when you was 12. I was wrong for, and I'm just giving an example. This really didn't happen to me because I was a nerd when I was 12. I was wrong for calling you fast when you was 12. I was wrong for allowing that man to talk to you like that. I was wrong for condemning you for the behavior of these people. I was wrong for being so not giving you grace to grow and make mistakes and not be perfect. Okay? I was wrong for not letting you make mistakes and not be perfect. I was wrong for my angry reactions towards you. Because remember, a lot of us was raised mostly by black women. And a lot of those black women were abandoned by black men. And that was probably one of the first or second generations of being abandoned by black men. And then not necessarily them having the greatest coping skills and really being more frustrated with their girl children than they were with their boy children. And I've talked about this at length too. Infantilizing the boys and adultifying the girls. Infantilizing the boys and adultifying the girls. The boys was babies and little bitty babies that need to be coddled for the rest of their fucking life, and all of their bullshit just needs to be tolerated. And the women were adultified. They have to take on the mantle, be the bigger person, take on all the responsibilities, figure it out, be good enough, be great enough, not make mistakes. I mean, the fuck. Psychologically, that shit was horrible. Hey, Jane, how you doing? Oh, they love to try to humble women. Love it. It is their joy. It gives them a sense of power that they'll never get anywhere else. Let's just say that. You're not going to get no power nowhere else. So I guess you might as well try to humble women. Yeah, I had a dumb nigga trying to humble me too. Got his ass blocked, goofball. Anyway, what I had to do to come to terms with my low self-esteem. Because a lot of women will say, I don't have low self-esteem. But honey, your life reeks of low self-esteem. I'm really not sure what you're talking about, okay? We as black women have an inner power, right? And when you have high self-esteem, your life matches that. And I'm gonna be a little bit long-winded here. Bear with me. Let me cook. But I know that you're going to get something out of it. So in about 2019, I've told this story before. I had an ex-boyfriend. He was highly narcissistic. Okay. He wanted to be pedestalized. He didn't have a shit, not a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. But I saw potential in him. Now, it wasn't just complete arbitrary potential. Like, he was actually in college. He was actually super involved. I literally go on my Google Drive sometimes and I'm looking through shit and I'll see his stuff in there. I got this nigga's ID. I think I got his social security card. I thought many times about taking that social security number. No, I did not, never do it. So let me go on record and say it. I thought many times about taking that social security card and getting a credit card and living it up and going on a shopping spree. He would have deserved that. He probably would have liked it if I would have did that, because it would have been like, oh, she paying me some attention, because I totally cut him out of my life. Okay. He thought he could exploit me and emotionally and verbally abuse me, and I was just going to sit there and keep taking it. No, I was not going to keep taking it. Oh, because he had a hard life. Bitch, everybody have a hard life. Everybody that's black that I know then had some hardship. But some of us don't carry it out front. We're not crash outs. But trust and believe me, I was crashing out on the inside because, bitch, I was with you. Okay? If my self-esteem was high, I wouldn't have even been thinking about you. A nigga like you wouldn't even cross my path. Met you and you was he was damn near homeless. Yeah, he was in college and shit. But he was living in a brownstone that his auntie once had. And this particular brownstone did not have any electricity in it. So his auntie passed away. So he decided he wasn't going to leave. He was going to stay there, regardless of the place pretty much being dilapidated. It was wild. Jana says, hey, Amy, how you doing, sis? You tell no lies. I had to go off in a few family members. It's okay for them to have an opinion, but not me. I'm not like them. I speak my mind. They were taught to keep quiet and take crap. Thanksgiving was terrible because no one stepped. Oh, girl, stick around. Because if you're still here, stick around. I'm gonna address that. Yes, it be like that. It be like that, especially when you a woman breaking free. Whoo, the knives, child, the knives come for you. So, anyway, enough about dogging my ex. He was just not stable. Not financially stable, not mentally stable, not emotionally stable. I had to ask myself, what does that convey about me? I had the minimal things, a job, an apartment, Oh, I got my little college degree and all of those things. But what was it saying about me that the man that I was with was such a fucking crash out? And then I had to look at what was being conveyed. When I broke up with him, everybody was trying to tell me, oh, fuck him, just get another one, just move on. And I almost was about to go that direction, but something popped in my head and said, no, pause. I had to sit back and ask myself, why would I even entertain somebody like that? And the way that I wanted to build myself up was to say, okay, I'm the good person. I'm the caring person. I'm the kind person. I look past the fact that he didn't have much, and I genuinely wanted to have a connection with him, and I genuinely wanted to be with him. And this makes me the good person. Yeah, that's partially true. Two things can be true at once. While that may have been true, it was also true that I didn't think I was worth more than that. And it was a painstaking process that caused me a great deal of humiliation. Because why did I feel that way? And I'm going to be honest with you. At the time, I was 37. I felt like I had wasted too much time in different relationships trying to make it work because I wanted to, be the best girlfriend all the time with whoever I was with. And they didn't have those same intentions. Maybe one or two boyfriends did. But that didn't necessarily mean that it was going to work out. So I was tired of being disappointed from the relationships. I wanted this to be the one. I wanted him to be the one. So albeit he was tall, he was handsome, he was intelligent, I said, okay, I could work with that. But when I started seeing the red flags and stuff like that, high self-esteem would have said, you know what? Let me walk away. Low self-esteem says, you know what? It's just one little itty bitty red flag, even though I fully understood the weight of this red flag. And the thing about it is low self-esteem will make you say, okay, I don't want to be alone, or I don't want to be, searching again. I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail. There's that word. I don't want to fail inside a relationship, or fail another relationship. But the thing is, I was failing myself. That's what I want y'all to hear. I was failing myself. I was failing myself. I was failing myself. Low self-esteem gonna say, I'm failing myself, but I don't want to fail the appearance on the outside. I don't want to fail, another relationship, getting my hopes up and then it being deflated. So I suppressed what I needed, what I deserved, not just what I needed, what I fucking deserved, to be with him and try to force it to work. And goddamn, when I say the red flags the red flags start flying like a coop of pigeons. Flying. You ever seen them pigeons flying over your head and they flying whatever south or whatever, and you like, man, I just hope don't none of them poop on my head. That's how many the red flags, baby, just start coming from every corner. We could have filled up our damn apartment with red flags. And why in my mind, see, again, I could have just moved on like all my friends told me to, which was terrible advice. What they thought they was doing was making me feel good about myself, pushing me to feel empowered. All it was avoidance. I would have just avoided the work that I needed to do that would help me get to the point that I needed to get to. So I had to do some deeper investigation on what was in me that made me betray myself. Because a lot of women want to cope with, I was a good person, I was a caring, kind person, but you still betrayed yourself. You see, when you love somebody in equal measures of yourself. Why on earth would you choose to betray yourself? This is the part that women do not want to deal with. The question becomes, why did you betray yourself? Answer that question. Nobody betrays themselves for another human being without having some wiring, some screws loose. That's it. We don't want to deal with that. We don't want to say something was going on up here that wasn't quite. And we don't want to accept that, yes, we were wired for self-sacrifice. We were wired for over empathy and allowing our empathy to be exploited. But it is still connected to a lack of seeing your own value. Because you see, I benefited my ex-boyfriend way fucking more than he benefited me. It's just like the situation between Offset and Cardi B. Offset walks around talking all this shit like he just a nigga. But now he's somewhere in court begging for half of her millions. Begging for spousal support. Saying he gonna take on the kids. Anything to get that woman's money. Which shows he was benefiting more from being attached to her. But he didn't want to admit to that shit. So he walked around with a heavy ego and constantly tried to make her suffer and feel like crap. To maintain a power structure. To stroke his own ego. And that's what my ex did to me. He benefited from me. But the moment that, and if I would have stayed longer, he would have been like Offset. He would have done me the same way. How Offset doing her. How she sometimes feared for her life. Especially after she had that baby by another man. This really blew him. Especially when they think they can control you. So my point that I'm making is, I had to sit and I had to dig deep. I had to realize that I had been taught my entire life, when it came to me and the males in my family were so prioritized. Their every fucking need was put on a pedestal. Mine was an afterthought. I was always told to be the bigger person. I was always told to be more understanding. And it really was a painstaking process when I started to shift, especially within my family dynamics. And I started to say, yeah, I see, they'll hit you with the black man's plight. You know what I'm saying? So he could be the automatic victim in every situation. No, that motherfucker knew what he was doing. And he meant exactly what he was doing. But you want to cloud me up with some virtual signaling bullshit about the black man's plight in the world to exonerate him from his inadvertent malfeasance, from his intentional harm. Nah, bitch, I'm not going to be bombarded with the whole black man and the system shit. And while he knocking my head between the washer and the dryer, fuck you, bitch. That's high self-esteem. High self-esteem will tell him, fuck you, bitch. Low self-esteem is going to allow somebody to use your empathy with bad and cruel intentions. We don't want to accept that we fall weak for these men. We don't want to accept that we fall weak for these men. It's an embarrassment. It is shameful. It is something that doesn't align to the type of woman that we put out to the world. But is more women dealing with that than not. And furthermore, it is an emotion you should process. Stop running from the feelings of shame. Stop running from the feelings of embarrassment. Stop running from the feelings of you not living up and disappointing yourself. Because you did let yourself down. The fact that he's a barbarian and a degenerate is separate from the fact that you absorb so much of that vitriol into your spirit. Something was rewired. And I think that we have to accept that we did let ourselves down. We did betray ourselves. We were operating from a place of low self-esteem, but it does not mean that we are stuck there. You are not stuck there. You have the power to change these things. Now, when you change these things, are you going to get a bunch of support? No. Because a lot of these women didn't do this deep inner shadow work, and they ain't going to never do it. But you in a unique position to do it. You already done closed your legs. Now, for us celibates and us abstinent women, now you can get to the root of those emotions. We understand male nature. We understand who they are. Now it's time we understand who we are. It's time we understand who we are and how we have betrayed ourselves. And feeling those feelings and allowing yourself to go through the motions of feeling embarrassed, feeling ashamed, feeling down on yourself for just a short period of time so that you can process those energies and end up on the other side. A lot of what I am and have done this year, and I'm so grateful for it, a lot of it comes from defying all of this pick-me, conservative, woman, predator protecting bullshit. Okay? All that mammy infantilizing the black man shit. I fuck all you bitches who try to push that on me. It don't mean I don't love you, but fuck the part of you that is on that type of time. I refuse. And I'm so glad that I faced all of those emotions. And it was, listen, it was a lot. There was years, honey, years. Okay? But I don't think that I would have aligned to the type of experience that I'm experiencing now had I not done that, because you push those things away in your shadow and you don't want to deal with them, and you don't like the way it make you feel. You don't want to say that I betrayed myself. You don't want to say that I let myself down. You don't want to say that I allowed myself to be used. You don't want to say that I was weak for him. You don't want to be truthful. You don't want to be honest. And that's what's holding you back. That's what's keeping you down. You want to bombard yourself with all these positive affirmations, but meanwhile, you got your shadow and your unloved parts of yourself is screaming for you to love it. It's screaming for you to love it. And when you take the time to grieve, you take the time to face it, you grow beyond it. You access your power. I tell y'all all the time, you're going to build up new neural pathways in your brain, and you're going to open up more of unlocked talents and abilities that was locked behind that wounded inner child who you keep fucking ignoring. Not saying you ignoring her completely, but it's levels to this. And I feel like I'm a better woman for it. I'm a smarter woman. And the man that tried to, the man who tried to humble me, he is a very interesting case. I mean, the man is absolutely fucking ridiculous, number one. First, I was dating a guy who he admired, which that should have been a red flag anyway. I stopped dating that guy for various different reasons. He comes swoop in. We go out on a date. You know, I didn't really feel like it was a lot of chemistry there. That's why I didn't really dig him. And then at the time he was working at Target and he had one child, and I was just like, okay, I'm not really feeling struggle love right now. Okay. And honestly, I did it again, but I just didn't have the energy for it right then. I had just broke up with my man. wasn't really feeling the struggle love thing. Well, he took that very seriously, and he felt that I dissed him. And for some reason, he just wanted to, it's like he wanted revenge. Such a weak little bitch. And I didn't know it, but I was eventually able to put two and two together. He was generous at times, but he was highly narcissistic. You had to be putting him on a pedestal. You had to be, and another part of his narcissism is the woman, his high school sweetheart. When I met him, he had one child by her. He has 5 or 6 kids by her now. He keeps pumping kids in her to slow her down so that she becomes completely dependent on him. Now he's a truck driver or whatever, and he's at the 6-figure mark. And Lord, the problem is his low self-esteem and his high salary is just a mess. So now he thinks he's in a position to kind of just like poop on me. The thing is that I'm not too far behind him, but I don't tell men that because men are stupid. And I told him, I said, you know, honestly, you're looking at me like I'm your baby mother. I'm not trying to be funny, but your baby mother, you made her so dependent on you. This poor woman is so dependent on you, don't have no outside finances, no way of escaping your ass. You know, the one time she did try to escape you, you punished her for years. And she deals more with government housing and so on and so forth. That's not really my reality, boo. And if I told you what I really did for a living, it would bruise your ego. So I'm not even going to tell you. So it's just like, you're tripping. Well, anyway, he tried to humble me. It didn't work out for him. But he's an idiot. Because if he wasn't so fragile and so in need of me being beneath him to feel like a man, we could have actually worked out. And this is the reason why I tell y'all, a lot of these dudes, they constantly need you to be beneath them to feel like a man. Well, bitch, if I was naturally beneath you, then fine. But I'm not. So now you are creating a fabricated reality. You even created a fabricated reality with the mother of your kids. You just kept popping kids into her until she couldn't fucking have no other option but you, nigga. You're not strong and powerful. You're vindictive. Okay? You're vindictive and codependent. But as long as that illusion is being maintained for him, he's totally fine. But my self-worth was such a trigger for him. And here I was, even in my low self-esteem times, these niggas was coming for me. Even when I even when I was willing to struggle up, these niggas was still coming for me. Why? Because I'm competent and capable. So you want me to stop being competent and capable because you're not? Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And it's not like I'm throwing it in their face or nothing. They just some fucking haters. Period, point blank, simple. I don't be throwing it in their face. But what I'm supposed to do? Act like a scrobbling idiot? That's why I told y'all in one of my last live streams. If he is financially competent, if he holds his own in the intellectual arena, and he ain't like arrogant, but he got some real confidence, I could pretend not to know how to open a jar. I could pretend not to know how to put together a bookshelf. I could pretend like I'm a damsel in distress sometimes and made a mistake and I spent my money on this and I need your help with that. Yeah, I can do those things. I can stroke your ego long as you are competent. But if your competence level does not actually outpace my competence level or at least equal, then I can't play that game for you. Because now I gotta be dumb. I gotta be stupid in order to make you feel like a man. And that's just something I cannot do. So